Hi, everybody. Angel here, and I hope you're doing great. And today I'm super excited to speak with Ania, and we'll get started very soon. Thanks for joining. For those who are not familiar with me, I'm Angel, also known as a Yummy Vegan, and I love coaching the world to thrive on plant. So I'm super happy to be here today with Ania. So we'll get started soon. Hi there.
Hello, good
How
evening,
are you?
good afternoon.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you very much for the invite.
Of course, of course. I'm just putting our pages down here in the chat so that everyone can have a look at our bios. So there we go. I
Okay.
just finished that. So thank you so much for taking the time. And I want to say hi to everybody who's joining either live or on the replay. Thank you so much for being here today. And Anya and I have tons and tons of topics to discuss. So I think we'll just jump right in. I just want to say a shout out to the Vegan Business Tribe. That's where you and I met. And
Yes.
so, yeah, shout out to Lisa and David and their baby who is on the way. So there we go. Thanks for the hearts, everybody. I want to kick this conversation off, Anya, with you sharing with us, please, a little bit about your plant-based vegan journey, how you started and how you ended up to where you are today.
So I start maybe with me private, in my private life as a vegan, not my professional journey. I was vegetarian since I was 11 years old. So most of my life really, and even before I didn't like meat. It was rather my parents fed bribes, chocolate bribes, which sort of work with piece of meat. And when I turned 30 years old, I knew that my grandmother had a breast cancer. My mother has some cancer issues, and I started to look actually into prevention of cancer. This is how it started. And that time, when you Google, I say now about 8 years ago, the whole food plant-based diet came as a magic solution almost. But I wasn't ready. When although I was vegetarian, I had an extremely unhealthy relationship with cheese.
Ah,
I couldn't cook without cheese. I couldn't imagine to have a meal without cheese. So eggs, no problem. I could cut it within a day. Cheese was a huge issue. And although I started to learn about health benefits of eliminating dairy, I was not ready. And it was now about 6 years ago when I discovered a British first, I think she was only a YouTuber, now she's an author, but my hero, it's Deliciously
oh
Ella. If you have you ever heard of
yeah,
her?
yeah, she's awesome.
So when I saw Deliciously Ella's recipes, I was like, wow, I can do that. It's actually possible. To me, she was a game changer. Her recipes were absolutely delicious from easily available ingredients. I didn't have to run around some organic stores. And they were easy. I mean, Deliciously Ella recipe, it's not a Michelin star cooking, but it's a something what you can cook in the evening, and I love it. And that's how it started.
I love that. Yeah, no, she's deliciously is cool with her husband and their family. And it's really inspiring, how they ended their empire over the years. And like
Oh
you said,
yes.
make it really accessible. So I can definitely see. I've also heard a lot of people struggle with cheese. And there's so much casein, it's very addictive in cheese. And I
Yes.
guess that's because the mother's milk from the cow, the mother cow, that milk has to be, addictive, attractive for the babies because they're going to be growing to be hundreds and hundreds and, probably close to 1,000 pounds of milk. I can definitely see why. I've heard a lot of people struggle struggle with cheese. The good thing is that there are more and more plant-based cheeses nowadays.
Yeah, that time there were not. So, you know, to me, I couldn't imagine to have a perfectly melty, stretchy cheese. And that was a huge, huge obstacle for me. It was just cheese.
Yeah, and it's so weird because I was vegetarian, pescatarian for over 20 years before I went vegan. And it wasn't that I wanted the cheese because I knew I was what we call lactose intolerant, although I don't believe in that. I just believe we're not supposed to be eating lactose from other animals. But anyway, we as humans have a label for almost everything. So we label
Yeah.
it lactose intolerant. And supposedly 2/3 of the human population is lactose intolerant. But what was happening to me was that I would go to places and the only items I could eat as a vegetarian pet were the ones with cheese without the flesh. And so what would happen to me is I would be eating cheese dishes because there's nothing else. And I remember even like being with people I knew very well, and they knew I wasn't eating the meat part, so they would put cheese on items because they were worried about my protein. Well, you have to have your protein, you have to have your calcium. So because I wanted to avoid cheese, like I wasn't even buying cheese like in my personal but other people thought it was necessary for me to eat it. So of course, going along with the program for years.
I think it's also, I can only obviously speak from my experience, but it's lack of the cooking skills because it was so easy. When you add cheese, it's like, yes, the quickest sort of instant improvement. And especially if you go to restaurants, I used to work just 3 years back as a restaurant consultant when I was training chefs, design the menu, and especially chefs with 20, 30 years of experience, when they were not exposed to vegan diet, it's difficult. They struggle how to build the flavor, how to build the texture, how to make creaminess. I understand where it's coming from, that it might be a bit difficult to say, prepare a vegan dish, which will be exciting for everyone. I think a bit of education what is needed.
I agree with you because it is so easy to just slap some cheese on there, call it a day.
Yes, yes.
I want to say hi to everybody who's joining, and please put your questions and comments down below for Ania, and she'll be happy to answer as we go along.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. If you have any questions, I am certified plant-based nutritionist, and I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions.
Fantastic. So while we wait for questions, I see some familiar faces here. While we wait for questions, can you tell us maybe a couple of changes that you saw in yourself when you switched over to the plant world?
Sorry, could you repeat the question? It was breaking off a bit.
No worries. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe 1 or 2 changes that you experienced when you went plant-based?
Energy. I think that was the biggest visible change. I started jogging. I had actually energy to wake up at 7 a.m., 6 a.m. To go for a run, and I think that was my dinners were not as packed with cheese as before, because that's exactly I was thinking about it. Probably cheese in whether it was Indian paneer, because I used to live in Asia, so whether it was Indian paneer or Italian style cheeses or Mexican, it was always cheese, cheese, cheese. And I don't think I was very energetic. So to me, the increase of energy, it's the first benefit. I can see the question, what diet do you suggest to avoid kidney stones? And obviously here we have this protein myth. We have to remember that the excess protein, the keto diet, for example, it's a factor which is contributing to kidney stones. So obviously I don't know a specific eating pattern, and health situation, but I would say avoid all this high protein products, including plant-based. We don't need to drink everyday plant-based protein shakes. If you do yoga 2 or 3 times a week, this doesn't mean you have to suddenly increase your protein intake just like somebody who runs a marathon. Because that's, I go to the gym and I'm a bit shocked that I see somebody who is just at the beginning of the fitness journey, and they think they want, I need the extra double, triple protein, and I need my protein shakes, vegan or not, moderation. We don't need excess protein, carbohydrate. That's the complex carbohydrates. That's the real superfood. I hope I answer your question.
Yeah, and I want to thank you for that question, and also thank you for the answer. And I want to just comment on that too, because a lot of people don't even realize that there's actually protein in fruits and vegetables. There's actually protein in nuts and seeds.
It's
So,
everywhere.
yeah, and if you like mushrooms, that's a source of protein a lot of people enjoy. So I think a lot of people have just bought into this myth that we can only get protein from an animal-based diet, and that is just not true. And it just, all of that, excess protein and all of the chemicals and hormones and drugs that they pump these animals with, etc., that's all building up in the human body. So of course there are going to be issues like what was asked in the question. So thank you again for that question and answer. And please keep your questions and comments coming. Thanks for the hearts. And I want to ask you, Ania, you focus on providing healthy meals and, basically, I guess, helping busy professionals to have health, to eat in a healthy way. Why did you choose to focus on, busy professionals, people who work? What was behind all of that, please?
It's something what came to me after COVID. I was based in Singapore in Asia, very vibrant city with a lot of startups, great energy. But when I went to business networking events and I started, hey, hello, my name is Ania, I'm plant-based nutritionist. Oh, no, I'm not into healthy eating. And I'm like, what? And it really, it just, to me, was so strange because you can be not into sport, you might be not into cars, but all of us, we need to eat. You can be CEO, you can clean the streets, you can be stay-home mom, regardless of your profession, regardless of your lifestyle, we all have to eat. You cannot say, I'm not into healthy eating. This is not a hobby which people choose. And then it sort of struck me that I think, with my knowledge that time, I already was a certified plant-based nutritionist, and my experience with more than a decade working in a large organization, large corporate, I could help those which actually not knowing yet that they need my help. Those people which thinking because they're sitting behind the desk and maybe they are not professional athletes, or maybe they are not Instagrammers and they don't have to fit into tiny jeans, but they actually have to eat healthy. This is not only so you look good, and this is not only so you can run marathon. Food is a fuel regardless of your job, regardless what you're doing on a daily basis. And that includes also when you spend 8 hours a day, or probably now more than 8 hours a day working in front of your laptop and working with your brain, because brain, just like your muscles, needs some fuel. And depends on the kind of fuel you would choose, that what your brain will pay off. That will impact your performance, your productivity, effectiveness at work. So this where the whole idea started. I saw this sort of gap in the market. Not many people were directing this to strictly working professionals, because I think there are a lot of services for fitness fanatics, yoga, Pilates, but these people already have the awareness that they need it, and they just need the direction how to do it. I would like to first make a first step, raise the awareness, then show how to merge healthy eating and full-time work.
I love that. I just love that you identified a need that people don't even recognize, because I have to say, like, I just want to give you like a marketing award, because that is really what marketing is all, you know, that's a huge part of marketing, to you know, identify a need that a lot of people don't even recognize they have. So I really want to applaud you for that. I also want, it's true, and I love the examples you gave. You know, they're so true. And that leads me to, you know, how you were saying, because believe me, I used to work in corporate America, as we call it, you know, in a
Yes,
corporate
yes.
in a corporate environment for a long time. And like you're saying, you know, just sitting behind the desk. Now, thankfully, I had a ritual, a routine, a habit of taking a walk during my lunch break. And I was exercising in the mornings. So that really helped me out a lot. But, you know, for those who, again, like you're saying, they don't even realize how important it is. A lot of times people pack on the pounds or the kilos. They gain a lot of weight. And so how do you help people, you know, in the arena of weight loss?
I do offer help with the weight loss, and as much as I believe in the miracle effects of the plant-based eating, and here it's not vegan, because unfortunately not a lot of vegan products are healthy, more into whole food plant-based diet. I don't force people to go vegan. I think it's something what you have to reach that conclusion yourself. I believe there is a lot of health benefits, or even huge help with weight loss once you implement as many as possible plant-based options. Even if quitting overnight meat and cheese dairy is difficult, I understand. I didn't do it overnight. It took me 6 months from a decision I don't eat cheese to actually materialize it, because I failed many times. I fell into many temptations. So I understand that that doesn't work. So I would say start with do the best you can. Yes, maybe it won't be the best result you can have. It might be extremely slow weight loss, but it's better if you do it slow than nothing. You know, progress, not perfection, I would say. So aim for the small changes which are easier to implement. And what I believe, it's art of unlearning. I know it because I had a huge problem with chocolate, which is very often vegan, but mostly sugar, which again vegan. But when I think in my childhood, and I mentioned my parents bribed me with a chocolate, with a candies, I associated that with pleasure. So any celebration, and it wasn't only birthdays once a year, but any small celebration always had to be some cake and chocolate. And it took me some years to realize that I have to unlearn it. That today I might splurge for expensive strawberries, which cost as much as a vegan, good quality chocolate, but that would be my way of celebrating. So I would say identify what is your trigger, because it might be a salty food, it might be deep fried something, and try to unlearn to like it, because most of the time, and this is not physiology, this is our culture, this is where we've been raised, this is family traditions, and I think we have to spend some time to unlearn it.
I love that so much. So, like you're saying, it's not so much learning, it's unlearning. That's powerful. I applaud you for that. And you know, it's true, like not everyone's gonna go overnight, you know. So I can definitely relate to that. I mean, I was a vegetarian, pescatarian. I didn't even understand the whole vegan world, you know, for over 20 years. So I can definitely understand, like, it's, you know, it's just not, it's not the norm, you know, it's not the standard. So I can appreciate that. So thank you for sharing that. And can you tell us a bit, please, about the workshops you have and the recipes that you have?
And my recipes are mostly whole food plant-based diet, what means they're obviously vegan. They are gluten-free, with a very low amount of oil, and without any processed flour, without any processed sugar. My personal favorite is a Persian cuisine. I love Iranian food. So a lot of recipes coming from Persia, Middle East, Georgia, and when I say Georgia, it's not a state in
No, no.
America; it's an independent country in Central Asia. I think that Georgian food is one of the most underrated cuisine in the world, and because Georgians are Orthodox, that means that for 40 days a year they almost go vegan. I mean, they eliminate meat, very often fish and dairy. They will eat honey, but when you think about the main courses, sort of savory food, that doesn't have any impact. So they naturally have a lot of vegan, delicious option and very vibrant cuisine with pomegranate, walnuts, coriander, spices. If you ever have a chance, Georgian food, even if it's a regular Georgian restaurant, step in, they will have some vegan options. You might have to ask for the fasting option because for them it's like a fasting food for the period when they're fasting. My workshops focus now on I have like a coaching program, Eat Like a CEO, which is a series of 6 sessions with me, exactly designed for the working professionals when we're working on your triggers, but we're also working on creating like a database of your personal recipes for after work, but also issues like eating out because business lunches, customer meetings, very often they will involve a food as a part of that. So I think it's a very important aspect of a professional corporate life. So during the 6 sessions, that's what we're working on, and then we're finishing with like a personalized action plan. I also offer the weight loss, and here it's very personalized because I believe that we coming from different background. Again, being in Asia, I've learned that what you would offer to the Chinese person and Indian person should be really very different. I cannot tell you to eat Indian food if you cannot stand the smell. It can be the healthiest, the most delicious meal in the world, but that's just not what you like. So I believe very much in a personalized approach. And I'm working now also with corporates. I offer them sessions teaching how to improve performance with food, because there are studies which shows that you can, as an organization, you can actually save money on reducing the sick days, on boosting productivity with right food.
That is beautiful. That is powerful. Oh my gosh. There's so much I want to comment on quickly. You know, I love the whole cultural diversity that you bring into your offerings, like you're saying. And I would even say, like, let's just take even the US, although it's one country. You have a lot of people who grew up, for example, in an Italian family, so they're used to eating Italian food. In a Greek family, they're used to eating Greek food. In a Chinese family, they're used to eating Chinese food, etc. You know, in a Latin family, let's say their family is originally from Peru, they're used to eating a lot of Peruvian food. So I really love the way you kind of you just like you're saying, you customize it and you make it for them. It's not like you're saying it's a one size fit all. Hey, everybody go make this one pasta dish, and everybody go make this one stir fry, and everybody go make this one salad. You know, no, I mean, and I do agree with you. In Miami, I went to a Turkish restaurant years ago, and I was vegetarian, pescatarian back then, and I was able to find yummy dishes that were accidentally vegan. And so, you know, just naturally like that. And I was just, of course, so thrilled.
Turkish food, yes, it's amazing also for vegans. There will be a lot of vegan options. See, to me, what I've learned that, for example, I love oatmeal. Yes, and oatmeal, great breakfast dish. But when you think, I work with the Indian customers, Indian breakfast is savory. It's more hearty. Oatmeal for them, for someone who is used to traditional Indian sort of cuisine, that would just not work. That won't be the right start of the day, and you have to keep that in mind, because you don't have to change when you either decide to go plant-based, or you would like to start a weight loss, doesn't mean you have to revolutionize everything. I think it's easier if you stay a bit within your comfort zone, so it's not so alien and it's not so difficult to implement it. Because if I tell you eat oatmeal every day, and you are used to eat Indian prata, that just will not work.
I love that. And also what I love is that, what you're teaching them will also apply to their entire family, their entire inner circle,
Yeah.
and it will make it easier for them to actually then, prepare these meals or order these meals from a provider that their whole family can enjoy. Because again, these are probably people who, have spouses or partners or children or
Yes.
parents living with them. A lot of countries, a lot of families are multi-generational, and so it will make it easier to implement these changes across their entire inner circle. And I think that's beautiful, and it's very, very, it's useful, it's practical. It's not like you're just saying, yeah, well, we're just going to do this for you. I think it kind of has this ripple effect.
Yes, it's food still should be a pleasure. Obviously, the nutrition is an important part, but there is always the pleasure associated with that. And I think you always have to keep that in mind. Nobody will stick to any diet if it doesn't enjoy it. It's not sustainable.
Oh my gosh, you're the second person I heard say that in 2 days. I heard a chef, I'm serious. I heard a chef say that in an Instagram live, and he was saying that no matter how nutritious the food is, if it's not delicious, people will not stick with it. Yeah, they'll stick with it for a while because they're like, oh well, yeah, this is nutritious and it's good for me, so I should do it. Yeah. And then but if they're eating the same food over and over again and it's not super duper delicious, yummy, scrumptious, awesome, they're gonna be like, yeah, well, I'm kind of over that now. It's been a week. Yeah, no, it's been 4 days. I need to go back to what I was eating because that tastes better. So
no, absolutely. I mean, see, there is tofu. I'm a huge fan of tofu, but I understand if you just take tofu, cut it into mouth-sized cubes. It's not the most appealing produce ever. But if you marinate it, I bake a cheesecake from that. I mean, it's amazing. It's creamy. It's rich. It's satisfying. You just have to play around with that. But the same, it's not only about vegan food. I mean, I never had a steak, but I'm guessing that if you have some cheap, crappy cut of meat, it just, people will not stick into that. So flavor, it's still very important.
Well, thank you for being real about the whole meat thing, because it's true that most of the world still eats, animal based. But what I have found, not only in my experience, but in other people's experience, is it's really the spices that people are attached to on the animal-based diet. So like you said, they're not going to take a plain piece of some kind of animal flesh or even a plain egg, to be honest, and just eat it like that. No, they're going to sprinkle pepper and onions and garlic and tomatoes and, spinach and carrots. And they're going to just put all kinds of spices, curry powders and, cayenne peppers and thyme and tarragon and you just name it. I have a whole bunch of spices, and I'm not even trying to cover up a flavor, to be honest with you. So it's not like I'm trying to cover up the taste of anything. I'm just enhancing the taste of the fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds that I personally am eating. But even when I was on the standard diet, when I was a vegetarian, pescatarian, I mean, all of my meals basically were just covered in herbs and spices. So,
When you close your eyes and you think about Indian food with garam masala, Italian basil, Thai kaffir lime leaf, or French herbs provençal, they give a flavor to the dish. It's not piece of meat. It's always the other way around. So it's useful because with those little few ingredients, you can almost go through the entire cuisines of the world in your own kitchen.
Totally, totally. I want to say hi to everybody who's joining. Please put your questions and comments down below for Ania, and she'll be happy to answer. Also, please tap on the links in our bios, give us a follow, leave us a comment, whatever you'd like. Send us a message. We'd be happy to hear from you. And while we wait for the questions, are there any future projects that you have going on that you want to mention at this time?
Not at the moment, because at the moment I'm focusing on this Eat Like a CEO. I would like to reach more working professionals with that, especially people who think that it's not for them, that they are not into healthy eating. So that's at the moment my agenda, and I will see where it will take me next.
So what else can you tell us about your offering, Eat Like a CEO? What should everybody know about that program?
That it's really as a working professional, when I say working professional, basically person spending hours in front of the laptop. It really doesn't, those little sips of soda drink, those little bites of donuts which you have, this little junk food to take away what you order, it's slowly working for your future. It's the same like you're saving money. Yes, each dollar, and one day you will get $1 million. It's the same with our health. Each single meal, each single bite, by here, by there, that's your investment in your future. And you might get a good investment, and you might get a great benefits from that, or you might get a very bad investment and lose your health, just like you're losing money. So people think, oh, I love it when people say, I eat sometimes. And then what does it mean sometimes? Oh, 3 times a week. And I'm like, to me, it's not sometimes. It's, you have to be aware of that you get away with that when you're 20, when you're 30, often when you're 40, but you will reach the moment when you cannot just get away with that. And that time, you might be extremely successful at your work. You will be in the CEO senior position, but then it's too late, because even with all the resources which are available to you, very often it's too late. I found on these studies in America that the senior management is the most exposed to having a heart attack. So these are people which professionally are extremely successful, which a lot of financial resources are available to them, but there are certain things which they cannot fix. It just might be too late. So this is my message, to invest in your health, because really every single day we eat and we drink, this is your investment in the future.
Thank you for saying that. And I want to just add to what you're saying too, as you were talking. I think the return on investment, the ROI, is also, as you said earlier, experiencing more energy. And I'm going to add to that more clarity, more focus, more confidence. Of course, you're going to have better digestion, better elimination, better assimilation. You're probably going to, clean up, your blood sugar and your blood cholesterol. You're probably going to clean all that up, on a whole food plant-based diet. And so what I really love about what you're saying, and also when you were speaking, I was thinking, well, golly gee, I mean, if a person really, really, zooms in on their diet, to eat a clean plant-based diet, they're also going to rise to that level of CEO much faster.
Yes.
With fewer hiccups, with fewer, detours and stops along the way for whatever. And so I really, really like that, and that, you don't have to be a CEO yet, but if that is your aspiration, and you're using the word CEO, but that could be anything. That could be your goal, creating a new product, creating a new company, I don't know, becoming a parent, exploring the world, writing a book, whatever it is. It will, if you're eating a high vibration, clean plant diet, you're going to get there, you know, much, much faster. So we have a question. Accept.
Yes, I can see it. It's eating according to your blood type a myth. Unfortunately, it's another marketing gimmick, which, yes, it's a myth. I am the group 0, which I think it's recommended to mostly eat meat. Obviously, no, it's not true. We all need the same nutrients. We all need vitamins, minerals, protein, and it has nothing to do with our blood type, unfortunately. More with our lifestyle, with obviously our age. Funny enough, it's a bit the newest studies, especially UK, emphasize that people of Southeast Asian origin, they are more predisposed, for example, for diabetes. That's genetic. These are then people which are born in United Kingdom, but they both parents are then from Bangladesh, India. They are more predisposed for diabetes than British Caucasians, and this is just pure genetic, but nothing to do with a blood type. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you for that question and that answer. And I want to add, you can check out nutritionfacts.org. There is an article on that website, nutritionfacts.org, science-based, research-based, evidence-based, and it basically covers that topic that is very controversial. It just spreads like, you know, the latest breaking news somewhere. So I encourage anyone who still has a doubt about this whole blood type situation to go on to nutritionfacts.org, check out that, just type in the search bar blood type or blood type myth, whatever you want to put in there, or blood type diet, whatever, and you will get resources and information that will debunk that myth, that will squash and destroy that myth. But it's one that comes up a lot. It came up recently in another conversation I had, so that's very
Whoa. See, I mean, obviously, people, I think we have a tendency to find this magic solution. And then we're searching and searching and searching, and the company is spending millions. We're spending a lot of money, but don't try to reinvent the wheel, I would say. There is no shortcut to healthy eating for everyone. There is no pill, there is no supplement, there is no magic drink, magic treatment. There is simple no shortcut to that.
Yeah, thank you for that, Ania. And I want to add to that that I think some people might use this blood type myth as an excuse, as a reason stay on the standard diet because they enjoy eating the animal base. And I understand that. If a person's been doing that for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years, of course, a lot of times they're going to be attached to that diet, to the, you know, elements that they've been enjoying for all those decades, of course. But as I say, over and over again, I have encountered people who have said it's really the spices. So, you know, what they do is they just transfer the spices over to the plant-based version, and bam, they're good to go. They're enjoying the, you know, the familiar flavors, aromas, and colors and memories and the nostalgia of what they were eating on the animal-based version. And so I do think, you know, we as humans, we're very creative, and we're also very, you know, attached. We are, you know, creatures of habit. And because we have been used to eating chicken and beef and pork, etc., we will find reasons sometimes to validate that and to remain, you know, in our comfort zone of eating the animal-based version. And when we, you know, someone here said the blood type, you know, version of fat, they're like, yes, yes, yes. So that's why I need to do.
I have to.
You know, this is the reason.
No, yeah. So as we talk, we have to sometimes unlearn what we learned for years. When you think about it, when we're small, it takes more than a year to learn to like certain flavors. Yes, the day we are born, not many of us had a steak. It takes time to like it. It's not a love from first day of our life. And I believe if we put similar time to unlearn this, not only one day, not only one week, if you have a certain goal to reduce or eliminate meat or dairy and you struggle for the first week, I would say don't be discouraged, because think how long it took you to like it when you were a little baby. It took you a year at least. So put really amount of time into unlearning process.
Oh, thank you for that. You know, that whole finicky eater, people think it's just children, but it happens to adults too. Like when we're changing over to a new diet, you know, it's time, like you're saying, to become used to all of these different flavors and textures, you know, and sometimes the aromas of certain foods that we're not used to. So thank you for saying that. And one point I want to just add to what you're saying too. So apparently it takes about 21 days on average for our taste buds to adjust to a diet. So yes, we do need to be patient.
Yes.
I say just enjoy the journey. Look at it as a journey of learning, of exploring. It's an adventure, and not, you know, oh my gosh, you know, don't go in. I mean, I would recommend, you know, you don't go in there kicking and screaming and trying to hold on to, you know, what you knew from way back when. And, you know, I would just recommend you kind of try to just like have an open mind. It's like visiting a new country. It's like learning a new language. And that's how I've seen it. And that's how I've been able to enjoy, you know, my plant-based vegan journey, just by, you know, being open to new possibilities.
Absolutely. Vegan diet is more than grass and tofu.
There we go. So Ania, tell us please, what are the best ways or places for people to contact you for information, collaboration, questions, comments, etc.?
You can visit my website, which is www.healthywithania.com. But you can always message me on Instagram, on Messenger, or just leave the comment. And Facebook. Oh, and LinkedIn, that's a new thing. I'm starting on LinkedIn, so you can find me on LinkedIn under my full name, Annalise.
Fantastic. Before I ask you for your final comments, Ania, I do want to thank you so much for coming on. I've super enjoyed, you know, your global perspective of this whole experience, and your very unique program that you have, you know, programs that you have, including Eating Like a CEO. I think that is super powerful. And I want to applaud you for, you know, being so creative and really, you know, keeping your finger on the pulse of like, well, what do people really need? And what don't they even realize that they need? You know, that was brilliant. I want to applaud you for that. I want to thank everybody who joined, either live or on the replay. Please check out Ania's page, Healthy with Ania, here on Facebook. Check out my page. Give us a follow, a comment, a question, whatever you want, a message.
Yes, I'm sure we love to hear from you, always.
Exactly. So I would be thrilled to hear from you. And so with that, Ania, I'm going to ask you for your final thoughts for today. Anything you want to leave us with to kind of wrap this up and put a bow on it for us, please?
Don't strive for perfection. I think that's the biggest killer of healthy eating. It's not all or nothing.
I love that. Oh, I love that. Say that one more time, Ania, for the people in the back or who just took a little snooze. Tell us again, please.
You don't have to be perfect. If you eat donuts tonight, doesn't mean that tomorrow you have to completely give up and eat all the junk food. You can still start with your healthy eating. I think working with people, I've noticed that a lot give up with a little failure. And again, I would compare it to children. Yes, when we learn how to walk, you don't give up because you fall once. You get up and you go again, and again. And the same as with eating. I'm vegan, but yes, I have a vegan donut sometimes. So doesn't mean that next day I will not have a salad or my healthy smoothie. It's normal. Just don't give up.
I love that. Oh my God. All right. Anya, thank you so very much for coming on and chatting with us. Thank you to everybody who joined on the live or on the replay. I'm going to post this to my page and stories, and then I'll message you after, Anya.
Thank you. Thank you. It was lovely, lovely, lovely session. It was amazing. You are such a positive, smiling person. Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you for your kind words, Anya. It's my pleasure to connect with people all over the world, connect with everyone here in the audience from all over the world as well. So take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.